Luka Nation, episode 657 of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My, the best sports card podcast in the land. The only one really that brings you guys the widest range of content on a daily basis, whether that's guest episodes, hot takes, which you guys apparently love. People are loving the show you and Manny do. Where basically you guys act like fools, say outlandish things, and get more views and comments than this program.
Well, I mean, we have to act a fool. Can I tell you something? 657 episodes. One of the crazy things about being able to do a show like this daily, being able to be the only people who do this. My favorite thing is 657 episodes in, we're gonna try something new. There's always something new with this hobby. There's always some new way to bring value. And while we bring value with guests, we bring value with, the education stuff, the fractional episodes we do. Today's episode is a PWCC episode, and we're going to be focusing on bringing you real value, as Andrew likes to say. And the value will come specifically focusing on the weekly auction, PWCC's weekly auction that ends Sunday. So we'll get this up. We'll get it up early Saturday. There'll be over 24 hours of listening of this before the end of the Sunday auction. And what makes it a little different, a little bit of fun, is a lot of people do auction recap shows, right? There's not many people out there who do pre-cap shows. And I don't know whether or not we're going to use that word, preview, whatever we're going to call it, right? But we're going to try to help you learn about PWCC's weekly auction, talk about why there are values in that weekly auction that might be being overlooked, and show you how to navigate their site to find those bargains, because they make it easier than anybody else. There's a couple of tools I want you to know about when we do this. And we will talk about not just specific cards. We got plenty of them that we think are undervalued presently. But more importantly, how you can find cards that fit your own collection that may be undervalued, that you can swoop in and grab in this weekly auction. Because, Andrew and I were talking about this in the lead up to our episode. There are cards in here that are premier auction worthy. There are cards in here that are like, monthly auction at any auction house worthy. And this is just a weekly, PWCC auction. So, think about that. It might not have the eyeballs, but it should. And right now, if it doesn't have the eyeballs, you might be able to pick up that card you're missing in your PC for less than you'd pay if there were more eyeballs on it. So that's just kind of like
if you guys are like me, just a quick 101.
Yep, shoot.
PWCC auctions are different than eBay in the sense that there's the extended bidding part, right?
Yep.
So there really isn't the opportunity to snipe as the clock winds down. If it's a card that you're interested in, you could put a bid in now just to give yourself an at-bat later on, right? That's 100%. How it works.
You put a bid in now because you have to have a bid in before the end of the auction to be able to bid in extended bidding, right? You have to have placed a bid. Extended bidding only allows bidding for people who have already bid that day. And if you've never done it and you're worried, extended bidding, auction house is very different. I'd rather eBay, it ends and boom, I know I'm in it. We had Rick Prostein on, and, with all the things that he had to say about auction houses and all the problems that are there, he gave PWCC a lot of credit for how they end their auctions, because it is a reasonable way of doing extended bidding where East Coast people like myself don't have to stay up till 4 a.m. to see how an auction ends. It's not, a war of attrition. It's not a battle of the fittest. It's bid. And they have found a way to end these auctions in a reasonable time. So yeah, listen, let's just jump right into it on these auctions. Pull up the PWCC website, and guys, we're going to share some screens. So, this might be a good YouTube one, but I will try to be as detailed as I can in case you're listening to this as well, to make sure that you get the point that we're making on these specific cards and how to get there. So if you could pull up that site and share it, and I'll show you exactly where to go. Right, you go to PWCC Marketplace.
So I have it up.
Shoot.
I pulled up. Here we go.
Just go to the regular main page so we can show people where to. Well, Andrew's jumping to the answer before the question. Woo! If you're on YouTube, you saw that, right? So let's click on the top there. It says we have monthly premiere. We have all these things. Let's click on weekly auction. Just click right on that current auction. So right there is current auction live. Beautiful. And this will bring you to the auction. Scroll down a little bit. Right? And a fun thing to note is right on top, it's a live ticker. So if you go up a little bit from here, it shows you all the bids that are being placed in real time. Here's the last bids that are being placed. So live updates, boom. Scroll down a second, all right? And you can sort on this however you want to sort.
People are currently bidding.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You see new bid.
Yep.
You just
That's
saw
your bid. New bid.
here.
So you see, there's bids as we're talking. There's bids being made right now. You don't see this
That's
anywhere,
cool.
and it's updating in real time. There you go. Look, Charizard just got a bid. Right? Looks like Peyton Manning just got a bid. The Pokemon box just got a new bid. It's pretty crazy. You can see what's being bid on, what's got activity. But let's scroll down a little bit, right? And we have the the sort and filters. So right now, initially, it's going to give you like starting by the oldest. So let's go to sort and filters. Go ahead and do that. All right, now here, the first thing I want you to do, you can sort it however you like, but let's start off right off the bat and just jump right into the value. Something that PWCC does that nobody else does. Please click on Power Buyer for me. And click that. And then let's sort by highest, just like you are going to do. Sort by highest price. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sort
Highest
by the
bid
most
first.
Highest bid, exactly. So we're going to do the highest price and power bid. Now, power bidder, what we had there is, and let's just stop right now for a second. We'll explain what power bidder is. This is PWCC's sorting tool that will find cards that are currently bid low compared to the appraisal price. So it's sort of like when an auction house does their auctions, they say on it expected price and then bid, right? To say this thing should sell for $100,000. This thing should sell for $10,000. This thing should sell for $1,000. And as an auction house like PWCC that has more cards come through their hands than anybody else, they know what something's value is. And what they've done for you right now, and you're scrolling through it, which is great. What they've done for you right now is they have put a tool together for you that immediately lets you find bargains. It lets you find cards that are currently sitting at a price that is less than the appraised value. Now let's look at the first ones that come up here. We're expensive. You can sort this low to high, but let's just do a little talk, right? The first one is a cool one. Scroll down a little bit so you can see the days, because keep in mind, guys, when you do this, we can sort it out again. But right now, the way we've done it, just for the sake of brevity, there are 2 weekly auctions currently up right now. One that ends tomorrow and one that ends in 8 days. You'll see all the ones here on the top have on the bottom, they say 1 day left. Those are the ones tomorrow. But you'll notice some of them say 8 days left. Like if you scroll down to the second Giannis there, it'll say 8 days. That ends next week. So you can also filter that out. But scroll on up for us, okay? See that? Scroll up for us. The first one
I'll tell you guys,
Go ahead.
just to pause Cage.
Yeah, please.
Cage has been bidding on PWCC for literally as long as I've known him. And what you guys are getting here is the opportunity to peek inside of his brain of how he actually finds the deals that he finds before buying. So
Correct.
I'm learning from this
100%.
too. This
So
is awesome.
Andrew says we should break Flawless. Let's get a case of Flawless and break it. And we could have Drake on. Or, Andrew has more important friends than Drake. He could have on who, Andrew? Who are our pals? I mean, Drake is a good musical artist, but
I think one day we'll break with Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah,
in a boxing
Logan
ring.
Paul.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
It'll be break a pack, get punched in the nose, right? It'll be fun stuff. Anyway, if you look online right now, if you're a breaker, right? If you're a breaker, if you want to buy a box of a case of Flawless basketball so that Drake can try to find that LeBron triple logo man, this is an example, guys. I'm not telling our listeners now to go out and buy this Flawless, but it's an example for the math, right? The cheapest I saw today is like $41,000. Steel City, one of these, you might be able to find a bargain in the 30s. So we all know that this is now a $35,000, $40,000 case. The breakers are breaking it, you name it. There's currently one sitting there. What's that bid? $23,000?
Yeah, and this is a two count box.
Yeah, so there's 2 boxes. So this is what they're doing. They're saying this thing appraises at probably 40, 42,000, and it's only at 23. So they find it. They find you the bargain, something that sells. Go to the next particular card, and we'll break for a second and let Andrew talk about Giannis and the whole deal. But the second card right now in the bargains, right? And bargains is it's an interesting word, right? Because it's not bargain bin. These aren't dollar bins. These are, we sorted it high to low. We can go and do it in reverse and sort low to high, or we can put a cap and we can do this just $1,000 and less cards. You guys can use this function yourself. It doesn't mean we're telling you that these particular cards are the bargain. You can now go back into that sort feature that I just did for you guys, and you can sort by price. You can sort, okay, I only want to buy cards that are 5,000 or less, 1,000 or less, 500 or less. The same thing will happen. It will do the same thing for you. It'll pull out cards that are not yet bid anywhere near their appraisal price, which means there's a chance for you to get it at a bargain. Perfect example on the high end, just for us to talk about, is that Giannis Prism Silver. In PSA 10, there are 75 of these. That's it. right? So it's not like one of the crazy Prism Silvers from the last couple of years. It's a much rarer Prism Silver. And it also is one that has recent sales. One sold last week. 3 of them have sold recently. They've all sold for $30,000. The last two, 30. The one before that, 28 and change, right? That's its lowest recent comp. 28 and change, 30, 30, 30. So the appraisal price on this is most likely $30,000. It's currently sitting with a bid of $17,000. So that's why the Power Buyer tool has pulled this card out, because the current bid brings this at a price significantly lower than what the appraisal price is. I would expect there to be more bids on this. This is something that, I mean, I don't think will end this low. And if it does, you've now identified something with 24 hours to bid that you can probably buy at a significant discount to what you could probably resell it for. So it's finding these kind of like diamonds in the rough. Before we get into what you love about Giannis, you name it, the one reason why this might be the case is normally these Giannis cards, there's 75 of them. You don't see them that often. You see Michael Jordan. I love Michael Jordan's rookie card, right? And I think it's the greatest card on earth, but there's 320 of them, and you get to see it almost once a month. So it's, compare that 320, there's less than 25% of those to Giannis's. There's 75 of these, right? So you shouldn't see too many of those, but if you scroll down, there's one in next week's auction right there. So maybe people are seeing that and saying, all right, you know what? If I don't get this one, I'll just get the one next week, which is odd. You don't see that type of a thing too often. So we'll pause for a second. You talk about Giannis, why this card, forget about just as opposed to, the 30,000 versus 17, why it's a bargain. Why do you love Giannis? That's what I want to know.
Why do I love Giannis?
Yes. Give me a poem. Give me a love poem to Giannis.
Before I answer that question, let me ask you one thing. If you were buying a Giannis card, you're not an auto guy.
Yeah, I love
Giannis
that card.
Would you buy?
That would be the card that I look at. If we didn't do a PWCC show, I may have bid on that card, but I'm not bidding against you guys. And I don't have a card for sale in this auction, by the way. I want to make sure that everybody knows that. We're not promoting our cards. Andrew doesn't have a card for this auction. We're using the tools that are out there, and we're, trying to make sure you guys know how to use those tools and identify bargain cards. That's one. I'm not an auto guy. I love the national treasures of him. That's like $200,000 now, out of 99. And if that would be a lot to buy, what's that, $200,000 card, maybe even more, right? In decent grade, higher grade sells for even more than that. That might be one I'd look to like fractional on if I couldn't afford for that myself. But those would be for a rookie. I like the silver, just because it's low enough pop in PSA 10 that you don't have to go for a
so
gold or an orange.
I've watched this card for a very long time. I'm not a big believer in the orange parallel in general. I think the people who want to reach, they go for the gold. I think they'd almost rather a gold 9 than an orange 10, and we could debate that. But before we were paralleled to death, this refractors were kind of the thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this is a card that, despite Giannis accomplishing things that kind of have separated him, in my opinion, from the pack, this card hasn't moved. This card I've seen cash deals for 20K, that puts it at 24, 25, and it's low. And right where you said 30,000, I've seen this card cash deals at shows. 20K is what people wanted, 22K, 30,000 in auction houses. So this card hasn't moved, though his other cards have. And I think that this card is going to go down in 10 years as kind of like his. I mean, it's not going to be a national treasures, but I do believe this is a $150,000 card in 10 years if he does the things that I believe he does, given that the scarcity, given the grade, and given the fact that this is kind of an accessible price point if you're not trying to pay $1 million for his card. So I'm really bullish on this card. I love this card, I'll be honest. I think it looks nice too.
I mean, I love it. I think that card is fantastic. I think it's definitely one of those, one of those cards that the price may be held down presently because of silvers now. You know what I mean? People look at silvers now and there's just so many of them. They're like, oh, well, it's only a silver. And they don't take that extra step and see in 2013, silvers were not the same, right? And that should be shown by the fact that there are only 75 PSA 10s. It's sort of like when and I'm not going to compare it because even these there's significantly more of, but we talked about the 2018 silvers when like the Brady card started to pop, and it's come down obviously a little bit, but people explain, oh, the silvers weren't as common in the 2018 product as people remembered in that 2018 football. So it's one of those kind of things. But I love Giannis. I think he's got a pretty clear path towards the title this year.
Top 75 guys, just so you guys know.
Yeah, top 75. It's pretty nuts. You want to go back into that and kind of maybe find one or two more items that are in there, and kind of we can chat about them a little bit just to kind of show. But the key here, guys, was to and I'll take a pause, but we can just talk about that first one if you want. I mean, that's great. That Mojo Trae Young.
Let's talk about the Mojo parallel, Cage.
Let's do it. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of it. I think it looks cool. It's a hobby parallel. It's super rare. It's numbered out of 25, but usually you see less than 10 in a graded copy. You see here, 1 of 10 PSA 10s, 1 of 6 Siakams, 1 of 7 Jokic. So even though it's out of 25, you don't usually see them all in circulation for whatever reason.
Yep.
What do you think? We've been parallel to death. We know that. But Prism, thoughts on this?
I have an interesting take on this, and it might be something that people do not love. The golds will become way too high. Think of how much a Trae Young PSA 10 gold parallel out of 10 will be. I mean, talking about, a six-figure card, talking about approaching a six-figure card. There's only 10 of them. There's 10 rabid Trae Young fans. There's gold collectors out there. There's people who, they just chase the gold because that's what everybody goes for. It's sort of like, the hobby is told what to do and they do it, right? It will not be long before people realize that these Mojos are not that different, right? The golds are out of 10. These are out of 25, right? I mean, they're numbered out of 25, right? They're on the back. So it fits all of the same things. It doesn't have the color gold, right? But it fits all the same, all of the narrative that the powers that be tell you. Don't go for those, commons, those bases, those parallels that are not numbered. You need to know what the supply is. You need to know what the what's out there. All right, well, next to the gold, this is out of 25. And I think, and I could be wrong here, but I think that people might like these more than waves. The gold waves, which is also out of 10, the red waves and the ruby waves and all these waves. People seem to shy away from the waves. This one might get some traction, especially because look at that. You're holding up the Siakam, you're holding up the Joker. These Mojos, they have been here for a while. These wavy, mavy, gravy ones, they're just kind of like a new way of, of putting another parallel in these products. That's a 2015 Joker Mojo rookie. It's out of 25. It's numbered out of 25.
I think it's kind of cool looking, if like the just the actual aesthetic of it.
Well, one of the cool things about the Mojo is there are collectors of that look. There's a similar Topps parallel that they call Mojo basically too. It's in like the specific like mega boxes. They have the same kind of wavy line, parallel to it. You see Wander Franco has them. But look at that tray, right? Look at the tray. Not that one above it. Right? I mean, you got a PSA 10 tray at $7,250. I will tell you guys, I recently sold a purple out of 75 PSA 10 for right around what this thing is at now. There were red ones, which is a color match, but red's out of what, $299?
Yep.
Right? Which was selling for this or more than this. This is out of 25. So, and Trae had a nice game last night. I'm not saying Trae's getting out of the first round here. I'm not saying Trae's going to win a championship. But these Mojo cards, they have a shot at kind of being the little brother to the golds, right? And if gold for this is $100,000, is the 1 out of 25? Is this now a bargain, less than 10 grand? I tend to think so. Joker is a PSA 9. Look what that's selling for. Less than $2,000, right? It's at $1,400 for a Joker Prism rookie numbered out of 25. Gonna win his
What's
second
amazing,
MVP.
Cage, is
Yep.
and guys, most of you do use PWCC, so I'm preaching to the choir. But some of you guys that don't, the photo quality is insane. So there's this little button here that's loading high res image. I don't even know why they have it because all the images are super high res, but you can zoom in.
Yep.
Right, because let's say you're buying a 9. Not all 9s are created the same. Not all 10s are created the same. So you get to really inspect the card you're buying before you buy it. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Going an extra mile to scan these in to make such good quality photos so that you as a buyer can make the best decision possible. That matters.
100%. 100%. All right, so let's pull back out and look at some other ones. We can look at specific cards on here if you want to. How about Siakam? Look at that. I mean, it's a PSA 10. There's 6 of these.
Not a believer.
If you happen to be a Siakam guy,
I would buy Siakam over Trey, though. Dude, Trey, I have a hot take on Trey.
So give it a second. Let me hit Siakam. If you're a Spicy P fan, this is a rookie Prism out of 25 PSA 10. There's 6 of these. The current bid's $130. That's like what people were paying for Kyle Lewis last year. All right, go ahead. Let's hear your hot take on Trey.
There's going to be a lot of bag holders with Trey. That's what worries me. I know this is a PWCC episode, but I think he's going to be out of the league or a 6th man in 5 years or less.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting. So here's the take on that, guys. You may agree with Andrew. Most of you probably think he's insane. Most of you think that's nuts.
I've been wrong before.
There's no way that he can be right. There's no way. Come on. That's silly, right? And there are probably people out there who may agree. So you know what? Go back to the search function and type this one in for me. 1982 Topps Taylor.
I don't know Taylor. Do you have any other friends?
Taylor Swift, right?
Okay, give me a sec. 1982.
Topps Taylor.
1982 Topps Taylor.
All right. So
it's probably Lawrence Taylor.
There you go. I do this for a reason, guys, because if Andrew's right, there's a gamble here. Let's pull up the highest one. There you go. You know me. I mean, let's go for the gold.
You're a 10 snob.
Go for the gold if we're going to go for a gold, right? So this is a gorgeous example, right? It's one of the nicer examples. And why do I bring this one up after Trey? Can I go to a different end of the spectrum? What Andrew's pointing out here is that it's difficult to buy guys who are a couple years into the league because they may turn out to be nothing. And he's fearful that there are bag holders out there. He's fearful that there are bag holders of Trey. Because if Trey doesn't improve his game, if he doesn't learn how to play defense, if he doesn't win titles, people have priced in some really big things for Trey, right? And if it doesn't happen, those cards will not appreciate, right? And what he's talking about there is, when somebody's playing, their legacy is not yet written. This particular player's legacy is written. And some will say...
Okay, do you remember you brought up the Trey Gold?
Yep.
I just want to give you...
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess at how much that card is in a PSA 10?
I said it's a 6-figure card, basically.
150,000.
Yeah, 150 grand. So then why should the Mojo be available for less than 10?
Right.
So that's a big number, $150,000 for a card. So now what you have in front of you instead is just scroll down on this one, the asset description, right? So you got a whole craziness on this. This is a very nice example. So it's got the Mike Baker gold diamond on it, which basically says that of the 10s, this is one of the nicer 10s. Eye appeal is all the rage now, and people are paying more for ones with eye appeal. Look at the centering on this. Sometimes 10s have centering that are not 50-50. Right. This thing is it's a gorgeous card. Back in February, another nice one sold for $8,000. These cards. It's just one that is a slow and steady climber of a player that a lot of people think is the greatest defensive player to ever put on shoulder pads. It's debatable. I mean, I'm a New York guy, so I know what he did out there. Put fear in opposing quarterbacks like nobody else did. But it's one of those cards that if you wanted to take a gamble on the Trey Mojo, here's a card in the same window that maybe you diversify your portfolio with, right? Because this is the exact opposite. Trey might be a little bit of a gamble. If he winds up winning a championship next year or an MVP or a scoring title, you name it, then that Mojo you just bought for 7, 8, 9 might be 20, 25, especially when you compare it to $150,000 or $200,000 gold, right? But it might also go the other way if Andrew's right? And this is what makes our show fun, right? We can have two sides of the coin. But your portfolio should also have two sides of that coin. And you can mix in something that is more dividend based, more growth rather than speculative. And this card is a perfect example of that. I'm trying to make sure that I don't give the wrong number on this. Does it say how many PSA 10s there are?
I got the number. So 176 PSA 10s.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add to that 234 BGS 95s, which if you're looking at Card Ladder, it's actually a dip in the Card Ladder value of a PSA 10. It's $5,600 is what a PSA 10 on Card Ladder goes for. But a 9.5 at the same time has seen a little bit of a spike. It was $1,400 Card Ladder value February 6th. Now they're projecting $1,620 based on recent sales in a BGS 9.5.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Forget about Card Ladder. Take it, throw it out the window. It's almost going to become irrelevant soon, guys, especially when doing these PSA 10s. And here's why. I was not huge on Mike Baker. And, Mike Baker's got a value. I'm seeing now why eye appeal matters more on vintage cards. Card Ladder might be helpful for the people who will go into a card show and don't know how much that Juan Soto PSA 10 sold for on eBay this week because it's got 500 sales. But a card like this that's been submitted almost 6,000 times to PSA and has 100 and change PSA 10s, the hobby has evolved from what Card Ladder does. Instead, we're up to eye appeal. We're up to what PWCC does best. Look at this card, right? PWCC is bringing you a card that is significantly better than any of these tailors that have sold this year. Now, Card Ladder doesn't give you that. Card Ladder is just going to tell you what any PSA 10 is worth, right? It's going to look at the one that sold on Steve Novella auction for $5,900 on March 2nd. And I'm looking at that card, and it is nowhere near the card you have in front of you presently. But if you look deeper, which Card Ladder can't do, unfortunately, guys, there are limitations to what Card Ladder brings you. It's great for those liquid things. It's great for those, those Juan Sotos and those Ronald Acuñas. But did you know that on March 2nd and on February 17th, two of these cards sold? We're talking about 2 weeks apart. 5,900 and 7,900. Card Ladder's not telling you that. Card Ladder can't tell you why. I can. And you know why? Because not every 10 is created the same. And this particular version of the card is the one that vintage collectors are actually going to want. Mike Baker Gold Diamond, eye appeal. Look at this card. It's a gorgeous card. So anyway, I'm just telling you, I like this card from a balance out your portfolio perspective. Don't lean too much on Card Ladder for cards like this, guys. There are many subtle differences, if someone's being honest with you, between those vintage cards. Card Ladder might give you a value for the PSA 10 Jordan, but there's 300 and something PSA 10 Jordans. They're not all the same. I mean, I have one. It's not the best looking one I've ever seen. I'll tell you that much. You have to be honest about what you're holding. Can you do me a favor and let's talk about one other thing? Because I love this card, and I think it's one of those cards that if you're a vintage baseball guy, it's one that has not gotten the love that it deserves. Can you just type in 1954 Mantle for me? Let's run through it, man. 1954 Mantle.
Dude, this is cool. They're like the new bid.
You see that, right?
I think it's kind of cool.
I didn't want to show you that because I know you're going to spend the whole day now just watching those. It's like a ticker. It's a stock ticker.
It's exciting.
Oh, look, this one just got a bid. Oh, that just got a bid. Look at that. Just got a bid. So click on that.
A little portrait of Mickey. Why are his teeth so white?
It's a gorgeous card, right? Do you know what this card is?
His teeth were whitened and bleached for this photo.
So do you have any idea what this card is?
This is a Mickey Mantle 1954 Red Heart card. Next question.
Okay, so, it's fun to go through this stuff, right? So in 1954, Red Heart dog food. This is a dog food card.
Yuck.
This was a label mail-in card that the Red Heart Dog Food Company sent out to people for sending in the labels of their dog food cans. Now, what's funny is it was 1954. I've read in certain, periodicals, I've read in certain magazines that talk about this card. that this is a 33 card set, Andrew. And what I read is that even though it was a 1954 redemption, the Red Heart Dog Food Company was accepting these redemptions and mailing these cards out into the 1970s. So it was not sort of like the 52 top set that got dumped because it was overproduced. It was not something that sold out. It was not something that was crazily, accepted by consumers. It was not one of those sought after cards. But I think what winds up happening is grading. When grading happens, a card like this that was a mail-in redemption, those mail-ins, it's hard to get a high grade card. And of course, Mickey Mantle made it into the set. It reminds me of the 33 Gaudy Napoleon Lajoie card number 106 that you can only get through the mail. And it came like paper clipped on the note from the Gaudy company. So all of a sudden now the condition is sensitive. So you're looking at a mint 9 of this. Do you know how many 10s there are out there? 2.
It can't be more than 1.
2. You know how many 9s there are? 39. So this card is a pop 39 from 1954. Mickey Mantle, a couple years into his career. He's still young. You like his teeth there. It's just one of those cards that in high grade almost never
fielding record. So this is what they call them. So they had stats. They had putouts, assists, errors, and field average. Fielding record, putouts.
Well, they didn't have sabermetrics back then, and WAR was not a thing. It was just a matter of mashing home runs and taking credit for it. Why I like this card is the last 2 sales, and you can click back, because I think it's at 15,000 the bid now.
I love reading the backs of cards.
Yeah, you can read it. Dude, that's one of those things, right? You didn't even know this card existed. And I think there'll probably be people listening to the show, watching the show that don't even know this card existed too. And maybe you can't get into a 52 or a 53 tops Mantle. Maybe you can't get into any Mantle in PSA 9. Because even his late 60s PSA 9s are crazy. And no, this is not a tops card. It's not. But it's one of those cards that I believe is recently being discovered by the masses. And to buy a mint Mickey Mantle card, that's, what is it, $15,000 right now? So let's just follow through with me here now, okay? Late last year, even if you go to the pump up time, right, where the first quarter of 2021, this card at its high sold for $13,000. 2020, $9,000. It sold for $13,000. Then 2 of them sold at the end of last year, in August and October. You know what they sold for? 24.6 and 18.1. If you look at the
gorgeous 9, by the way, guys.
If you look at the progression of this card, it's one that moves. It's one that moves slowly but surely over time. And the jump in this from what was a $4,000, $5,000 card to $12,000 or $11,000 to $13,000 to $18,000 to $24,000. These are now being bought by collectors, by Mantle, people who are adding this into the Mantle vertical. This is almost an unimprovable card, and I don't expect it to be one that goes down anytime soon, because with 39 of them out there, as you buy it for 24 or 18 or 20 or 22 or whatever it winds up being bought for, it now is locked up in a collection, and the next one that pops up might not be 6 months or a year, and it's now 30, 35, 40. It's not going to 10x on you guys, but it's one of those, like the Taylor, one of those to add to the collection that people just don't know about. And 9s, come on. I mean, 30-something of these, it's a very difficult card to come by. And it's one that's just, it's gaining appreciation in vintage card collectors. Really cool background. It's got the blue background, very similar background to the 52 tops in color. You see that? Not every card in the set had that. A lot of them had red backgrounds. And it's just a cool story also, with
this kind of stuff, and it takes conviction, right? A little bit of what we do here, it does take conviction to be early on something, because here you are 50, 25,000, you have to have conviction that this catches on. But I will tell you something I've learned when it comes to assets like this is the snowball, the momentum starts slow.
Yep.
But when it catches on, it quickly leaves your price range, right? Sometimes it takes it, 10, 15 years to go from 10 to 25,000, but then almost overnight it goes from 25 to 100. And you see that time and time and time again.
Before we jump to another card, let me just throw one more cool little noteworthy thing on this. Because of contracts and you name it, the 2 biggest stars in this set are Stan Musial and Mickey Mantle. Neither of them had a 1954 Topps card. So Mantle has 53 and 55, but he doesn't have a 54 Topps card, right? You have the Stan Musial. Musial's not a 54 Bowman, which makes the Musial card in this really cool. But there are people out there who put verticals.
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
What are you saying? Musial?
Stan Musial, yeah. Musial. Do you know him or no?
Stan Unusual?
Stan the man, yeah.
Stan is unusual.
Mr. Cardinal. Anyway, forget about Stan Musial for a second. This is his only 1954 card. Bowman had a Mantle, but there are people who put verticals together, right? There are people who buy Mantle from 51 Bowman all the way up to 69 Topps in high grade. There is no 54 Topps card, right? So this is one of those cards that people who build these verticals together in high grade, this is a highly sought after card. For that reason, it's just another little wrinkle to throw into it, right? So anyway, it's an interesting one, right? I love Mantle. Not a lot of huge names. Nellie Fox in the set, Stan Musial. But this is a cool card.
I want a Stan Musial card now. I'm going to put it next to my Carl Yastrzemski.
Now, you love it, man. It's Carl Yastrzemski.
These guys have funny names.
Who else did you like? I'm trying to think. Harmon
Shoeless
Killebrew.
Joe Jackson.
Harmon Killebrew. That was your favorite fraternity name. Harmon Killebrew. Right? I mean, you love these names, man. You can't make them up. These are baseball names. So what do you want to do? A little more modern? I took us out into the 80s. I took us back to the 50s. You want to stay vintage? There's a really nice Bill Russell card in this if you want to take a look at that. The 61 Fleer Bill Russell.
Did Bill Russell not like Will Chamberlain? Or that it was just like a fun kind of, when you took shots at each other, it was, this is a good card. 1961 Fleer. I'll pull it up.
Yep. So one of the cool things about Russell while we're being pulled up here is that there are only 3 official cards from his playing days, and one of his only 2 base cards is this one right here. So obviously, we know about the rookie from the 50s, right? So, but you have this one here, 1961 Fleer, which is just an amazing set. Obviously, everybody knows the Will Chamberlain's on this. But as we talked about those eye appeal, look at this card. Just a gorgeous
The coloring
card.
on this card is pretty incredible.
Yep.
What's this? A 60-year-old card now. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, just a real beauty of a card. It's not the one that people think about with Russell, but there's only 2. There's only 2 base cards for him from official releases. And this set is an iconic set. And you're talking about
$400 current bid.
$2,400 for a PSA 7 Bill Russell. Really nicely sent.
I spent more on worse.
We both have. That's it is what it is. So how about we pull one up that's right in your wheelhouse? Can you type in the search? And guys,
it's also newly graded, Cage.
Yep.
This to me, just off first glance, I would. This looks more of an 8 to me.
Yeah. 100%.
It is slightly off-centered, and
it's top to bottom,
top to bottom, and a little left to right. But you guys know how difficult it is to have beautiful centering on a 60-year-old card. I think it's hand cut, right?
This falls now. This is from a pack. These cards are gorgeous, and it falls squarely within the PSA 7 framework. Yeah.
Educate me, because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
How come the edges then sometimes are like jaggedy?
Because card manufacturing technology in the 60s was not the same as it is today. And I opened.
They don't have like Office Max where you go and you do that thing.
They did. That's exactly what they were using. And sometimes the edges. Also, it's paper stock. It's not the same type of stock. So it's sometimes you get those edges. A lot of 54 Topps. I look at like Hank Aaron's rookie cards have that kind of edge on it also. For a while, they were actually putting out weird edge cards. Look at the edges on the 79 O-Pee-Chee. Obviously, that's got the blue thing, but you can see how when it whitens on the edge. Let's go back to more modern and to something that Andrew can speak about better than anybody else. In your search term, how about 2016 Select Messi Gold?
I already pulled it up before you even said it.
Listen, that's where the people come here. The people come here to watch you pull it up. Oh, that's a different one. It's right there. But there's the goal. But we can go to that one next, too. Nice job. Dude, he's prepared.
What do I think of this card?
What do you think? Well, what do you think about Mr. Messi? This is one of his earliest gold autos, and we've seen in recent auctions, Messi Golds have been hitting high numbers. right? Didn't we see one sell for over $500,000 recently?
I'm torn on it. I guess that's what I would say. It's first off, it's not a perfect grade, which I don't love.
Remember, there's only 10.
There's only 10, but it's slightly off-centered and a sticker auto. So those are things against it. I like that it's newly graded. I think Argentina is going to go on a bit of a run in the World Cup. And I've been talking about Messi since basically the beginning of the calendar year, saying that this is kind of his last hurrah. This is his last World Cup 99.9% of the time. And I really think the Messi market in general is going to move. So if the Messi market moves, yeah, his gold auto will more than likely move. I've just noticed that people prefer gold non-autos more than gold autos. And it blows my mind. I don't understand it. But sometimes you can't fight the market.
Let's just take that for granted. Let's just take that as a known, right? That the gold base out of 10 is going to sell for more than the gold auto. If a gold base, let's just assume the gold base. I think it was from 2014 Prism, so this is 2016. It's not Prism, it's Select. So obviously it's also a 9. If that sells for $500,000, is this now a bargain at 3 and change? Look at the price. Look at the price on this. How much is it? $3,000? Scroll up a second. I can't even see what it is.
$3,300.
$3,300. Not $500,000. $3,300.
Just two graded higher. Yes, it is a bargain if you compare it to that 560.
Now, if you're not a Messi guy and you like Ronaldo more, or you like the two of them together on the same card, Andrew has another one pulled up. I saw it. You gave us a sneak preview. Boom! This is a cool card.
This is a cool card. What is it?
I like it.
Out of 199. I like this card. I think this card is going to be iconic. I think this is the first soccer Prism set, right? 2014 is the first soccer Prism. So there's that. And then you have basically the two greats of a generation.
Let me ask you. Somebody messaged me the other day about that. You have the two greats of the generation. Somebody messaged me the other day and made an argument that I had not heard. Because I look at this card and I say, all right, well, if you're a Ronaldo guy, you got him. If you're a Messi guy, you got him. If it turns out that one is thought of as the great over the other, great. Somebody showed me a picture of a LeBron Jordan dual auto that sold for less than what they thought it was going to sell for. And the question they asked me was, how much of this price is reflective of the fact that Jordan guys love Jordan and hate LeBron? LeBron guys love LeBron and hate Jordan. So they don't want them on the card with each other. I never thought of that.
I don't think that so I agree with that. Those guys never overlapped. They never played together. So there was never the head-to-head. This to me is more Magic and Bird.
Okay. That's a very good point because they played together. They actually have an on-court rivalry. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was, Clásicos when Messi was at Barcelona and Cristiano was at Madrid and Messi would get the best of him and Cristiano would throw a temper tantrum. Oh, man, I love it.
But that's fun because now you're seeing a card with both of them on it and you're remembering that, which you can't do with LeBron and Jordan, right? They're just two GOATs on a card.
And this is a blue Prism out of 199, and this isn't going to go for, insane numbers. I don't know what the value is, but this is an affordable, higher-end card of this.
Yep. So let's stick with soccer and just pull one more up. The Captain America PSA 10 silver rookie.
Pulisic?
And give us...
the Greek god of America?
Is he Greek?
No. He grew up in Hershey, right near me.
Listen, I wish I grew up in Hershey. I like chocolate. But are you hyped for the U.S. in World Cup? Look at this, because it's a cool card.
I know you have to ask that because you're a good host, but I'm a terrible fan of any sport, of any team. Like I don't even root for my Sixers. I'm a terrible fan. I like the direction the U.S. men's soccer team is heading. I like the group. I think they're going to win the group. I think England always comes in overconfident, over arrogant, a bunch of wankers, and we take their lunch. So I'm really
bunch of wankers. There are probably people in England listening to this, right? And I think Wayne Rooney is a regular listener to our show, and he's not happy that you just said that they come in and they underperform in the World Cup. He's not happy.
I'm pretty sure he played in the game where we beat them. And we won that group. What was that?
Which is why this idiot here who doesn't know soccer brought him up specifically. But
2012.
do you think, though, that just in all honesty, forget about how you're a fan or not a fan, do you think that the World Cup now will bring more attention to the soccer cards and, and Pulisic, his cards specifically, because he's kind of like the face of the U.S. team, right?
Without a doubt. To Pulisic, without a doubt. I think that they're going to. The World Cup captivates attention worldwide, right? Like when the World Cup is on, it's sort of what I think the Olympics used to be, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. I remember I was at co-op. It was like an internship for Drexel, and the office stopped working to go watch the U.S. men's national team. And this is people who aren't sports fans. So it has that kind of reach. So, yeah, I definitely do. And you're going to see it all over ESPN. You're going to see a ton of people discussing and talking about it. And any good momentum, any good performances, I think he's going to score some goals. I think his time at Chelsea is going to really help him playing against the best of the best competition. I'm
going to tell you, soccer has gotten huge in America, in card collecting, you name it. When we have a men's team, now the women's team is great. Right?
Better than men's.
Amazing. Better than the men's. But when we have a men's team that competes, that actually has a shot at winning the World Cup, that is going to have a ripple effect into card collecting, into fandom for soccer. And
getting to the quarterfinals is a win.
Competitive. They don't have to win the whole thing, but it's a team that has a chance. Because you're right. People drop everything and watch. It becomes Tiger on a Sunday at a major. It becomes, Rafa versus Federer in a major. It becomes something where it's like, okay, schedule time to watch it as it's happening. There are very few sporting events that do that, right? So one baseball card to look at. Did you check out this Dynasty dual Ohtani Trout 1 of 1?
That's cool, man.
It's a pretty cool card of 2 MVPs. I
got to tell you, while you're going to baseball, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, please.
I want you to touch, if you can, on Wander Franco, because I think what he's doing is a little under. Well, touch on him from 2 standpoints. We'll go to that after. I apologize for cutting you off.
Sure, it's fine. No problem. You pull up. So Dynasty is a really cool Topps brand. Obviously, you got a lot of patch autos on these.
Gorgeous.
Look at that patch. Look
That's
at that patch
what a card is.
Ohtani.
This is what a card should be. I've said it before on Topps Dynasty. I'll say it again. This is what cards should look like.
It's a gorgeous card. It's got both of their signatures, right? They're on card, right?
Yep. Great
patches. Look at the majestic patch on Ohtani, right? And it's funny. We talked about a card on Collectible. It was a duel of LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. And we're like, oh.
Did I lose you? It cut out, like zip, and then it cut out. But if you just take it out and put it back, I think we'll hear you. But dude, this is what I think cards should be like. I'm looking back here. I'm not sure if it's game worn or not. You guys will have to go take a look. But this is a beautiful card, beautiful patch. Trout Ohtani, 1 of 1, Topps Dynasty, just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. And why I wanted to touch on Wander Franco. No, you're gone? That's okay, Cage. Well, jump out and come back in. Did someone call you? You just muted yourself? Dude, think about this. This is what we do for our partners. This is supposed to be
I'm back now.
I'm back now. 5 to 10 minute spot.
Yeah.
This is a 48-minute episode, but I think it's good because
it's important,
whether you bid on cards or on PWCC or not, you're still getting value in the discussion of what's undervalued, what's overvalued, type of stuff.
Yeah. This is a cool one, right? Because listen, the Ohtani Trout, they're playing together. Ohtani, he has become like I don't call him the face of baseball yet, but he's fun. He started off a little cold. I don't know if you saw a video of this, but he's trying to wake his bat up, sort of like Joe Boo with the bat in Major League, right? And he's doing CPR on his bat in the dugout. He's like trying to bring it back to life. And he's had like a ton of hits since then, a bunch of home runs, you name it. And while the Angels potentially maybe on the outside looking in this year in the American League playoffs, they've had a good start to the season. And if they can get into the playoffs and do something, this is the kind of card that people will look for. It's got Trout, who is like an all-timer, right? If he happens to win, great. You got Ohtani, who had a season last year that just had everybody watching. He did stuff last year that was like video game. It was like Babe Ruth, pitching, hitting, home runs, MVP season. And you're right. I love the card because with the proliferation of cards that are coming out now and so many mass-produced cards, the topic this week is this particular card is not from any game, not from any sport, not from any. You might have like, Darryl Talley's jersey in a LaMelo Ball card. And I use that name because you don't know who the hell he is. But he played in the NFL. But they could use his jersey and put it in
Angels are in first. Angels are in first in the AL West.
It's early. It's by one game. But yeah.
Dodgers are already just crushing, huh?
Yeah, Dodgers.
Incredible.
The Mets look really good.
Cleveland Guardians, when did that happen? Did I miss the memo?
Yeah, this is, Washington football team had to change their name, and the Cleveland baseball team changed their name also for obvious reasons. The Guardians they're
Indians, though. I didn't even know.
Yeah. So now you do. So listen, you're right. We're going to do like 5, 10, 15 minute segment on PWCC, but unfortunately, we went through this. We'll do this all the time. The key here is we're giving you cards. These might not be your cup of tea, but go back to the beginning of the episode and look at how you can sort these things, right? Look at the functionality they have. One more thing, Andrew, can you just pull up? We'll go to 2 hockey cards in a second to round this out, just to touch on everything. But go back to where we were in the beginning. I want to just show everybody one more cool feature, right? All right?
Weekly Sunday auction.
Just go right to the current auction. All right, exactly. Scroll down. Look, people are buying. Did somebody? Oh, Russell Wilson, Prism.
Billy Lowe's.
That's a 52 tops, gorgeous card. There's a Zion. Look at that. BGS 9.5 Zion for $30.
But let me talk about this.
Yeah, please.
Who stands to gain more from an announcement that, let's say the Pelicans win this series without Booker, right? They're down 2-1. Do the Pelicans bring back Zion? What does that do for his card prices?
Dunking on Luka. It will energize the whole thing. It'll energize all of it, right? If he's coming back, think of when he came back the first time and started shooting threes. You know what I mean? It was all anybody could talk about. It would be great for the hobby, whether you're holding Zion or not. It's a good thing to have another potentially NBA-changing player, right? Hobby-changing player. There are not many people, if any, that bring as much juice to the hobby as Zion does. So it would be a great thing. It would really be a great thing. Now, scroll down. Go to that sort function we were doing. A lot of bids on Pokemon cards. Hey, now. Go back up. See the sort and filters? Click that sort. Go up. There you go. Click sort and filters. One more thing. So it's not on here.
Sort by status, weekly auction, current bid, power.
No, I'm trying to get to scroll down. Maybe it'll be there. No, you get the eye appeal too, which is pretty awesome. No, right on it's flash. So I'm trying to find the flash in the sort.
Oh, here it is. Right here.
Yeah, it's right up top. Exactly. Okay, good. So on mine, it's on top also. So guys, if you don't even have to go to sort. Right on top, just give me 1 sec, okay? Scroll back up so people can see it. There you go. So next to all items, there's something called Flash. And you see there's 1,094 of these. That combines both of the weekly auctions that are currently in existence right now. They're the one that ends tomorrow and the one that ends next Sunday. They're both up. But what this is if you happen to be a vault holder, if you have cards in the vault, right, you can just click a button and flash those cards into the current auction ending on Sunday as long as you get the card in by Wednesday night at midnight. All right? So what you're looking at there, these are another potential, if you're watching this, potential bargains. You can sort by lowest price, recent. You can sort by highest price, however you want. Right now, you don't have it sorted, except these are by age. These are oldest. Schoolboy Row. So
this is incredible.
Why this is important, guys, is one, it gives you a liquidity option if you're somebody who has cards in the vault. But more importantly, if you're looking for bargains, some of these cards did not have the 10-day run for people to see them and sort and find them. Some of these cards were put in as recently as Wednesday. So they're in the auction only 3 days. They might not get the bids that you would think they would get, right? So you can now check these flash auction cards. These are like, some auction houses do like internet only. They didn't make it into the printing, right? These are late editions, right? So these are people who are looking for, liquidity. I think it's a really cool thing. If you want to sell a card, it allows you to take advantage. Let's just say that you have a Trey card in the vault, right? And Trey won. Your Trey's playing. You wanted to on Wednesday. You want to put your Trey card up. You put it in this auction. It could end this Sunday, and now you're taking advantage of the fact that Trey won yesterday, and maybe he wins tomorrow. And there's a series, and Trey cards might sell for a little bit more than had you not gotten in. You can time these things, right? If you look at who's having a great series right now, who's definitely advancing. Dallas will advance. Luka will be back, right? You look at the Bucks. Now might have been a good time to flash those Bucks cards in, flash those Luka cards. If you're looking for something liquidity to try to time the market, time what's going on in the first round. So it's just another cool thing to take a look at, guys. This flash feature, it's new. Power buyers new. PWCC, the tech that's on here, you do not find this anywhere else. And it really makes it easy as someone who is trying to look for bargains, trying to look for things in their auction, to kind of navigate their site. Look at that. You love these cards. Kiki Kyler. Kiki Kyler was a great player.
This is unbelievable.
Dude, you should just don't sort like this. These are all you're sorting by age. These are your all vintage cards. You can go sort a different way.
This is so cool. Like, I would have never heard of these guys if not for this.
There you go. All right, you want to wrap it up and just talk about 2 hockey cards really quick and then end this?
Sure.
We're approaching an hour. Nice Jordan. Is that Jordan Poole? Is that Jordan Poole Silver getting a bid? Yeah, it was. Well, Jordan Poole Silver PSA 9 getting a bid. We're gonna end the episode. You're just gonna watch the ticker the whole time.
Literally, I have what I need to do on Saturday.
Just fun stuff. Nobody else does it, right? So two things. You can type in 2005 Young Guns, or you can just type in 2005 Ovechkin. It's OVE.
I know how to spell my countryman's name.
Wonderful. So let's pull it up. I mean, this card right here, Young Guns. You guys know
my countryman.
You guys know I gave. The Austin Matthews Young Gun. Young Guns is where it's at. This is the card that people want for rookies. Now, obviously, this one now is a 17-year-old card here. It's a 2005 Upper Deck Young Guns Ovechkin in PSA 10. This is as blue chip as it gets for Ovi. Guys setting records still. And if there's a non-auto card of him that you're looking for, you want to buy his best rookie, this is it. And take a look at the price that it's at. Sitting at a pre. This is like you're bordering on like premier auction type stuff. Major headline auction.
This
stuff.
card?
Yeah, it's a cool card.
I mean, okay.
You don't like it?
No.
Why?
It just looks like a basic card. It's not even shiny.
Well, I mean, I get it. This is why Prism is all the rage with the.
Where is the number? Why is there no parallel to this?
Click on the back. Nice card, right? Cool looking card.
I keep saying that, but
all right. So we'll get you one for you then. Pull up the other hockey card. It's 2015 SP Authentic Connor McDavid. 2015 Connor McDavid. What we have here is Connor's best auto only rookie, right? So
this is a card.
There you go. See, I know I'll find something for you. It's a BGS 9.5. These cards are numbered out of 999, I believe. I'm just a gorgeous Connor McDavid card. If you're a hockey guy or you're somebody who's a Connor McDavid, it's an SP Authentic Future Watch BGS 9.5 with a 10 auto. It's sitting at 92.50. This card's just a gorgeous hockey card. We touched on some baseball. Card. We touched on some basketball. We got some football. We did some vintage. I brought a card from a dog food company at you. But the most important thing that we got today is take 30 seconds and get into the PWCC website and navigate it. Look at the features that they bring. They make it as easy as possible for you to find the cards that you're looking for, the players you're looking for, cards that are bargains versus their appraisal prices, cards that were just listed using the flash auction. Check out that power buyer feature. And guys, let us know what you think about this. I think this is a lot of fun because we get to talk about different sports, different cards, you name it, and also, a platform that I believe is doing things that nobody else brings you. Let us know. And also, message us next week if you happen to buy not just one of these cards that we talked about. If you happen to buy something in the PWCC auction, message us. Let us know about your experience using the platform. Let us know what you think about extended bidding, et cetera, et cetera. Any questions you have, and we'll go one step further. We'll do this every week. So you have a card in the auction, let us know about it. Maybe we'll bring it up on the show.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Luka's, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luka Nation.